Hey y'all, what's up? Your girl G here. Welcome back to my channel. Appreciate you for tuning in. You know what's up. Quick review of Married to Medicine Part 2. I'm sorry I missed Part 1, y'all. I apologize. But we're gonna talk about Part 2, get into it. I watched the episode twice, but I'm not gonna lie, it was a little in and out. So if I missed something, y'all drop down in the comments and we can get talk about it down there. But first things first, hit that thumbs up button, okay? I'm seeing a lot of views, but not enough thumbs up, okay? So do your girl a favor. Please hit that thumbs up button. It works wonders for me, okay? If you enjoy my content, we got to let the world know that Gigi is over here too. We got to get them a part of the juice on this channel, all right? Okay, because your girl comes with the juice, okay? But yeah, hit that thumbs up button, all right? Drop down in the comments. Let me know that you stopped by. But let's go ahead and get into part 2 of this reunion. So we pick up where we left off, which is Quad crying because they are looking for every which way to have Quad be the problem. Does Quad have her ways? Yes, absolutely. But when it came to that Jackie stuff, one thing is for sure, they flew on past that real quick, a little too fast. What was really supposed to be discussed is why Jackie felt that way, okay? But that's not what they talked about. They talked about how, you know, it affected Jackie and, you know, her career. But what really should have been brought up is why you felt that way, Jackie. And also as well as once again on the last part, once again it's on Heavenly platform. Heavenly, if you haven't noticed, your YouTube channel is literally the crux, is the inception of a lot of the BS that be happening on Married to Medicine. And so I do think Heavenly knew in this situation that it was not a good look for her to Jackie, because Jackie is like up on this pedestal when it comes to Heavenly. And so she doesn't want to do anything to, like, you know, have that abandonment of a friendship or her be mad at her, things like that. So I think everybody was just looking for somebody to blame and whose fault it was. Now, allegedly on Twitter, they said that they was able to track back to who posted the video, and it was supposedly supposed to be an ex-cast member. And the first thing who the first person I thought of that's been hating Jackie, that's gonna always hate Jackie's guts, is who? Buffy. Buffy is gonna stay on Jackie's neck, okay? And at some point, Buffy, you are gonna have to let it go. I agree with Contessa in that previous video. She was like, girl, we're sorry that you didn't get out of it what you expected, but you're gonna have to let it go at some point. And Buffy just did an interview with Mariah, and was talking about Damon and all that type of things like that. And of course, you want me to bring up the receipts, type stuff. So allegedly they said, it was a previous cast member. So y'all drop down in the comments who y'all think it was that brought up, Jackie's kitchen table talk. But nonetheless, Jackie, you said it. And for it to then be put on Quad, like she would do something like that detrimental. Like, and then first of all, Quad was going through so much of her stuff with her, niece passing away and things like that. She really ain't got the time to be doing all that. So she was like, Jackie, you would think I would do that to you, Jackie? And Jackie's like, well, I don't know you, Quad. You don't let us in your life. I don't know what to think. And I was just in a bad space. And she was like, Jackie, I would never do that to you. You know me. She was like, I would never. And she was like, but, then Jackie says the dumb shit like, oh, I would rather lose a friend than to lose myself. What that got to do with anything, Jackie? Girl, truth be told, you'd really already lost yourself when it come to Curtis. So what's really left to Jackie? Because you definitely lost yourself when it came to that Negro, okay? But yeah, they basically kind of hug it out and basically was like, we'll start over. And so Quad kind of took that energy and walked in on Simone's room and basically kind of said the same thing of like, I really felt like there was still some things left unsaid. I do appreciate the fact that you were there for me, when she had the incident. Simone, it definitely was effed up that she did bring up the details of that. And I kind of feel like low-key production wanted her to say that. I'm not going to lie, y'all. like to specifically use the words her niece, passed, died or whatever. I feel like, and we all know that they said Simone is, production's pet besides Heavenly. I feel like because it wasn't on the show, it wasn't filmed, they wanted like that those specificities needed to be put, on camera. And I think low-key that's why Simone said it the way she did in such detail, because she really could have kept it as a broad stroke as, when Quad, suffered an unfortunate loss, or she dealt with the loss of a family member. Like, she could have broad stroked it, okay, but she didn't. She went into exact detail who it was, how it happened, and so it really got me feeling like that was a production thing, because it wasn't filmed. But she went in there. Y'all know Quad is down on her knees begging you, please. Okay, she is trying to make sure these girls know. One, I do think she does miss them in a little bit, but also too, bitch, this is my check, okay? And Bravo pay noise, all right? And you hoes not finna kick me off like Gilligan's Island, all right? We not finna do that. But Quad said, she was like, you were there, and what happened was me, because I watched that show back, and anybody would watch that back and just get re-triggered all over again. That is the thing about these reality TV shows, is because you can make up during the season, but then when you watch the show back and then you see what that host said in confessional, you like, oh, okay, you got some, okay, confessional thug, all right. Like, you're watching it back and you're just gonna get re-triggered. And so Quad said, I watched that back and it pissed me off. But, I appreciate that you were there for me when I was going through my tough times. Let's just try to be there for each other going forward. They make up, they go back to set. Andy, he's like, I heard that there was, a meeting of the minds, a reconciliation, and they all agreed, like, yes, Andy, we're going to try to move forward. Toya acknowledged how, she felt like, Quad, I appreciate this is the first time that you actually, like, apologized, and that was it. Because before, when Quad would apologize, it was always, but this happened to me after. It never was just an apology, acknowledgement, and kaput. There was always but you did this to me after. And I think that's what just kind of annoyed people with Quad, because it's like, your apology shouldn't be contingent upon you getting one back, right? Because if you're sorry for something, you're sorry for something regardless, And so Toya's outfit really ain't that. It's the necklace that's effing it up. She should have left the necklace alone. Like, took the necklace off. The necklace is throwing off the whole thing for me. But, it seems like everybody's back in the middle ground. So then we get to, Sweet Tea segment. And, they do her little flashback of the season and stuff. What you love about being little access to the money, okay? What you love about being with Greg, his fiance, little access to the money, okay? I walked up in the house. She said, I walked up in the house, was like, okay, this'll do. But of course, being with Greg, it's the other side of it. You got to deal with Quad. She walked in on your bachelorette party. Heavenly, she, tried to get you drunk and you spilled the beans of how he's controlling and all that whatnot. And then also, nonetheless, just Heavenly and Sweet Tea button heads this season. And so, Andy did ask, like, Sweet Tea, what is it about Heavenly that, gets under your skin? And she was like, really, truthfully, honestly, was like, she flipped a switch on me. And absolutely, we know Heavenly loves to try to make a show. And she specifically brought Sweet Tea on to be the counterpart of Quad's storyline. Because at the end of the day, it's like, of course, you break up, ex-husband, the new woman comes on, TV, whatever, and Heavenly was banking on that. But I kept saying this since reviewing the beginning of the show. I felt like they told Sweet Tea that she was gonna have friends, Heavenly was gonna, because Heavenly's the one who brought on, Heavenly's gonna look out for you. I felt like Heavenly sold her a dream. Girl, I got your back because, I'm with Quad anyways. If that, y'all know Heavenly loves a good bitch. And I felt like when the cameras came on, Heavenly, Sweet Tea, unfortunately, learned the hard way that sometimes on these reality TV shows, you can't trust no person, okay? And so that's what we saw. Heavenly going after Sweet Tea, talking about, oh, you with your man, he old as dirt. And they like, why you keep calling Greg old as dirt? Come to find out, they 2 years apart. 2 years apart, Heavenly, you talking about that man old as dirt. Girl, bye. And so then, of course, she was Sweet Tea also talked about how, it also was, annoying to watch back and see Heavenly talking mess about her relationship, something that she, had to find out through her best friend, which I knew when they panned that camera to the maid of honor on that episode. I said, oh shit, she gonna run back and tell it. And she sure did, as a best friend should. And she ran back and told Heavenly was talking all types of smack of, I'm just saying, if they don't make it, Heavenly was saying, if they don't make it, I ain't trying to say I told you so. And Heavenly basically was like, I was just going based off of what I was seeing. Like, girl, she tried to say you got drunk and told all the business. She didn't get drunk, but you definitely was trying to lubricate her up, Heavenly. Let's stop playing. When y'all went out to have drinks, you definitely was trying to lubricate her up, because as they say, what drunk minds speak sober thoughts. And, Sweet Tea did, say a little something, though, because she was like, oh, Quad was right about one thing, he can't be controlling. And Heavenly brought that up. She was like, because I have a daughter, and like to see her hear you say like he's controlling, and say things like, just because you want to go get your hair done, like, oh, see, now you're trying to be like Quad. And see, here's the thing, y'all. I hate to say it this way, I really do, but this is how men operate. They try to find a woman in which they feel will be grateful, and that's clearly how Greg operates. Find a woman who should be grateful, of this life that I'm giving you. Not that Sweet Tea is an ugly woman by any means, but I think Greg didn't want to have to worry about, the attention. Sometimes when men get with baddies, they forget that she's a baddie. Like, with her be like, you can't get with a bad bitch and not let her be a bad bitch type situation. And that's what was happening with Greg with Quad. You got with her, she's upkept, she's a good looking woman, having these opportunities, making money, and sometimes that threatens men. So what do? I go and find me a woman who might not, be in the scene as much. I don't want to say, Sweet Tea's homely looking, but, in comparison to what these girls are like in Atlanta, Greg, in his mind, I'm telling you things like, I don't have to worry about her as much, right? And Sweet Tea, you not an ugly woman, but I'm just saying, in the Atlanta world, Greg felt there's some security with you. But nonetheless, he's controlling, point blank period. Then they get into, Heavenly constantly talking about her endometriosis and their marriage, and Sweet Tea's just like, girl, y'all keep talking so much about me, like, what is it, girl? You want to be my mama or something? And so then they also brought up, how a lot of people thought Sweet Tea wasn't, a fit for the group, and Toya, she couldn't help but try to god dang jump in on that one, because when Quad, they were also like, because she's like, y'all keep talking about me and my marriage, they did a clip of Watch What Happens Live, and Quad and Heavenly was on there, and the question was, who wear fake, clothes, designer? And Quad was like, no, Heavenly, tell the truth. And Heavenly was like, well, Sweet Tea do say she likes to go shopping, in the trunks, baby boy style, $40, okay? You shopping in the back of the trunk. And Sweet Tea was like, girl, I didn't say that. She was like, girl, yes, you did. And she was like, at the end of the day, like, y'all keep talking about me, like, why you keep talking about me and my marriage? And Quad had to let her know, girl, you being with him is not going to erase my relationship with him. And that is one thing. Sweet Tea, if you are going to be on this show, you're going to have to understand, if Quad is around, her relationship with Greg is going to be still her life. She has the right to talk about it because that was a part of her life, and so she does have the right to speak on Greg. And although you feel like, oh, stop speaking on my husband, girl, that's my ex, so I still get to say shit about him. Sorry. But yeah, so Sweet Tea had enough. She was like, just stop talking about me, like, enough or whatever. And so they got to the endometriosis, and you know, how Heavenly was on there talking about like, oh, if it was me, I would have knew earlier. And then Sweet Tea just kept saying like, I'm confused though why you kept talking about it. She was like, bitch, do you not hear me? Are you not understanding? Like she's like, Andy, she wants something out of me and I'm about to give it to her. Heavenly, y'all, has definitely improved. Not by much, but enough that we can definitely see a difference that Heavenly, you know, is working on herself. Okay, the therapy's working just a touch. All right, but she was like, she wants something out of me, Andy. I'm about to give it to her. Hell, so yeah, do you guys think that Sweet Tea is a fit in the group? And then Toya's like, oh, Quad, why did you say that? She was like, girl, we all said it. But you, why did you say this? Like, girl, why are you trying to single me out? Bitch, we all said it. And even Heavenly was like, we all said it. Like, girl, why you trying to like, she tried to like stick it to Quad in that moment. Quad was like, girl, there's room for growth. Okay, let it go. But Jackie kind of stood up for Sweet Tea, where she was like, you know, a lot of women don't find out about endometriosis, you know, 8-10 years down the line, because the pain, you know, is typically just, you know, pushed to the side, or you don't know why it's happening. And if you go to the doctor, you know, they just kind of like chalk it up to, you know, menstruals. Just, y'all know what it is. People don't take women's pain seriously, especially Black women. And so, yeah. But the fact that she was in the military do got a lot of people feeling like, did she know before, you know, meeting Greg? That's something I do not know. But y'all drop in the comments, y'all think that Sweet Tea knew what was up with her organs before she got with Greg? So after that, we get the men start coming in. They look at the all the pictures of the decades. And boy, let me tell you, woo, everybody has come up, okay? The wigs was synthetic. The wigs was not wigging back then, all right? So then let me get to talking about also like Heavily feeling some type of way about Sweet Tea, like, I guess, you know, talking about Damon. Because here's one thing, Heavily, girl, you keep talking about everybody else's relationship and you want to have this thing of Damon's off limits, but Heavily finally, you know, met somebody who's willing to get in the ring with her, which we all are kind of low-key glad about. You know, Sweet Tea may, you know, not be a fit or have her ways, but she ain't afraid of a fight, and I can appreciate that, because we have been needing somebody getting Heavenly's ears, all right? Because she got too much gumption. Heavenly just be saying shit and feel like she can get away with it. And, you know, finally, you know, she got an opponent. Now, Heavenly, y'all know she got in trouble on Twitter, because y'all know Heavenly, when somebody go low, she go to hell, okay? She literally go to Satan's toenails, for real. And she kind of got messed up by, you know, alleging some stuff about Greg. But, you know, on the reunion or whatever, she was like, you sitting there talking about Damon. And Damon asked Greg in the back, he was like, I know you know me for 10 years. Like, what do you think? He was like, man, I don't know what you be doing. With his all high-pitched voice, I don't know what you be doing. He was like, no, you know me. And all the other men is like, you either believe him or you don't. And finally Greg was like, nah. I think he just said that because he was pressured in the moment. What y'all think? I feel like he just said no because it's like, you my dog. You know, is another man really gonna sit there and tell another man, oh, I believe you cheating on your wife? Okay. But we all know the truth. Is Damon probably cheating now? No, but back in the day, absolutely. The way Heavily be like, don't know the bitch look at my man. You know, when they out, that don't just stem from nothing, okay? So they do kind of like a little playback of the clips. And that is, I keep telling y'all, it's one of my favorite things about the show is watching the kids grow up. And there was that scene with Allura, and Heavily was like, why'd y'all tell me I got big? And she was like, look, Allura, you knew? She was like, I couldn't get my hands around you. Heavily was like, well, girl, you only 3. She had that bottom lip poking out. And of course, Andy was like, I wonder where Allura got it from. Boy, I tell you, Allura got it honest, okay, from Heavily. So Heavily talks about how low-key, you know, fighting with Sweet Tea helped her get a relationship back with her sister, because Andy asked about Allura and, you know, how, you know, she helps, you know, Heavily and things like that. And she was like, well, you know, speaking of, you know, because of Heavily, because of Sweet Tea talking about my mama going to hell, you know, my sister called and we're now in communication with each other. you know, Sweet Tea, she got a little bit of Heavenly in her because Sweet Tea was like, girl, you know, all I heard was go to hell. And my immediate reaction was your mama. And y'all remember Heavenly used to get in a lot of trouble for hitting people back with their yo mama real fast, okay? So after that, they talk about Toya and Eugene's parenting. People love that. I love the way Toya and Eugene parent. You know, it's kind of like the yin and yang. Toya's the loud, Eugene's the medical. And the fact that her kids just feel so comfortable speaking about condoms and vibrators is probably uncomfortable for a lot of people. I would never speak about condoms or vibrators with my parents. My mama know nothing because I grew up with the mama that just I barely even wanted to talk to my mom about my period. So like, and then when I wanted to get on birth control, oh Lord, the first thing they're thinking is you out here, what they say, being fast. You starting to smell yourself, and really, it's like, ma'am, I just want to get my period regular because I got a white uniform. I used to play basketball, and our home jerseys were white. So you can imagine, I don't want to be on the basketball court, especially at a home game, white, okay, and then be and then have to deal with that stain, and then be embarrassed. No, I don't want that. So yeah, that was a feat in itself. But I love Eugene's parenting and who he is as a dad and everything. So Alicia gets brought on. Alicia, you know, of course, gets talked about Kema, and she gonna defend her man, her man, her man. All she gonna say is, oh, you know, Kema is a man who thinks his ways, you know, and you know, he just has the way he thinks, you know, but the way it works in our house is how it works. And then they talked about how, you know, she works, you know, comes home, takes care of the kids, all these things. Is like, what do Kema do? And and then the fact that Kema he watched his kids for the first time when Alicia went on that trip, yeah, it'd be crazy how I be talking about old kids need their fathers, but then the men be in the household doing what? Y'all really don't want to be around y'all's kids because y'all see how hard it is, and so y'all ditch the effort off to your wife, even though she's over there literally burnt out. Alicia was burnt out, remember, Kema? And she literally was about to divorce you when she was pregnant because y'all don't feel the need to take care of the kids or help assist. That's a part of being a dad. And I think that's what men get confused. Like, you want to be a dad, but you don't want to be a parent. Like, you just want the title of being a dad, but nigga, you also got a parent, i.e., clothes, bottles, washing, like all of those things are included, feeding. But yeah, y'all know she defended her man and his old training comment. Oh, it's like, Alicia, you don't have to defend him. Just say he misspoke because he sounded stupid. So the men come out, you know, and of course they get to talking about, you know, them on the show. What did they get into? Greg, and just, you know, coming on this season with Sweet Tea and everything like that. What else did they talk about? Oh, Eugene and the whole, you know, dildo situation. Y'all know dudes be out here, they really do be loving it up the butt. Y'all out here thinking y'all men's is heterosexual, but I done watched enough Grey's Anatomy, you know, they low-key be in the kitchen sticking cucumbers up their ass, all right? Because they trying to tickle that prostate, all right? And that man was trying to hit that prostate with a little cocaine, you know, but ended up at the ended up at the funeral home, okay? So y'all just gotta keep your good eye on these dudes, all right? Because you think you worried about the women's and you worried about the wrong one. But yeah, so the guys, they just talk about the season and, you know, being on the show and, you know, the hardest part of it. And of course, we know for Cecil what happened with that girl, and then for Curtis, his old ass, his big tall Jolly the Green Giant ass walking down Atlanta airport with that old trick hurting Jackie's feelings because he couldn't keep it in his pants. But you all the way in DR all the time, something is up with Curtis and Jackie. We know that is the typical Big Mama and Papa J just stayed together because it was easier. That's what it's given. But y'all drop in the comments, tell me what y'all think about Curtis and Jackie's relationship. Is it just together for convenience? Because that's what it's given to me. So of course, we gotta talk to Kema about his opinions and women in America and them and training. He was like, "Oh, that was taken out of context." No, no, it wasn't. You said it with multiple times. You brought up training multiple times, so it wasn't taken out of context. And then Eugene, I'm glad, called him out when he was like, "Oh," he was like, "No, you didn't say it like oh." And when in regards to relationship, you said all these women been in charge and we need to take back the reins. That don't work in Nigeria. He was like, "You said that kind of like a general statement." No, I didn't. It was out of context. And Eugene was like, "No." And even Andy was like, "You said all these women been in charge." So it's like, Kema, you feel that way. It's okay. But now we clock your T. Like at the end of stand on business. That's how you feel. But because he knows how crazy it looks, he's not going to. And I'm sure Alicia probably talked to him behind the scenes because y'all know in front of people you defend your partner, but behind the scenes you called him out. And Kema, you have this logic of like understanding, oh, the man's supposed to be in charge of the household. But I'm glad Eugene was like, just because I feel like my woman's equal to me or she has a voice doesn't mean I'm any less of a man. And that's what a lot of these niggas get confused. It's like your woman being equal to you doesn't make you any less of a man, because first things first, she's not just a woman, she's human. And that's the problem, is a lot of men don't see women as human first. She's a woman, but I'm a human first. And to think that another human is beneath you is asinine. So Kima needed to be called that out. But he was like, but when Andy talked about, you eat the poom poom, he was like, yeah, no, we don't do that though. I didn't lie about that. We really don't do that. I'll be damned if I be with a man. I carry his kids, cooking, cleaning, cooking up 3-day stews and all that type of stuff, and you don't even want to go down on me. No, back to the streets, okay? So yeah, we definitely need to check Kema and his antiquated ways. So yeah, everybody gets back on stage. Everybody's sitting down and everybody's looking at this seat like, who the fuck is this chair after, Quad, did you bring somebody? And then, of course, we know Phaedra brought on Apollo. And she got to do something, gimmicky, because she knew this season she provided nothing but dust, all right? So y'all drop down in the comments what y'all think about Phaedra. Y'all think they're gonna bring her back next season? Heavenly did spill. I guess everybody did get their contracts back or whatever, but we gonna see what. I actually hope they bring back Alicia. I feel like Alicia and Kema are cookers, slow burners. I feel like they need to come back. Plus Kema is, I love ripping him a new one. But yeah, you guys, I hope I didn't miss nothing. Y'all drop in the comments. Do y'all think Quad and them are really gonna build their friendship back? We do know Jackie don't give a damn about Quad though. Like, we do know that much. Y'all think Sweet Tea is in the right to, call Heavenly out when it comes to, her relationship with Greg? And yeah, I really feel like that's it, y'all. I appreciate you for tuning in. I literally just had a brain fart. I'll check y'all hoes later. Bye.